Happy New Year, fam. Happy New Year, fam. This is the first meeting of 2025. I'm gonna hop right into it because I know everybody got things to do. So let's just go ahead and get started. Well, make sure y'all able to hear me. Sure. Y'all can hear me fine. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Good. All right, cool. Cool. I hope y'all didn't have a long night, man. Y'all ready for today. But anyway, let's just go ahead and get started. Let's set. All right, by watching or reading this, you're saying you understand the following. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not trading advice. This session is solely for educational purposes. There are significant financial risks associated with options trading, and I'm not liable for your wins or losses in the market if you decide to act on this information. All right, so let's just hop right into things. Again, so on Friday, the top call options flow went into MSTR, NVIDIA, Apple, Intel. I think that's one of Peter's stocks, Intel and Meta. On the put side, we had Microsoft, Tesla, TSM, ITOS, and AMD. I meant to chart AMD, never got around to it, so I'm just gonna make a note of it for a sec. But yeah, so let me just go ahead and for the week, the top call options flow went into NVIDIA, MSTR, Team, GDX, and Robinhood. On the put side, it was Tesla, Microsoft, CBX, AM, Adobe, and HON. Another one of Peter stocks, TLT. Right. All right. Sector performance last week. So this is how it, so, again, like I said, it's first week of the year. So this is how we finished on Friday with almost every single sector green except for consumer staples. I mean, and that's kind of okay because consumer staples is a defensive sector that contains all of the a lot of the defensive stocks like Walmart and stuff like that. One sec, just trying to get the screen right. So those stocks that are defensive. Sec. And look, so just some of the first trades of the year, man. I just wanted to kind of go through them. The first trade that we had for this week was a swing trade, which was Apple puts. It was a pretty substantial trade. And I wish we had more people post those contracts. So we could have just did something with that. But it still was a great trade. It was good to see. And again, I like to have these types of trades where we see the course, you actually just follow the price action. And if you were on Zoom with us on, I believe it was, because we had it's like the last 2 weeks we had a day off in the middle of the week, so it seemed like we had these Fridays that weren't Fridays, right? So I think it was on Tuesday. Tuesday, I told them like we were like swinging these apple puts, man, because they needed to be swung. It needed to be swung. We had a great setup on it, and they went deep into the money. So it was a pretty good trade, and just shout out to everybody who held. And the second trade was Tesla. So it's Tesla, pretty big trade on this one as well. So look, the way we did this, we got on Zoom on New Year's Eve, and the plan was, I knew the Tesla trade was going to be expensive, right? So what I told the team, I said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get on here and we're going to trade this Tesla right now. We're going to trade these Tesla puts right now, and we're going to get the money to get the strikes that we really want. You know what I mean? So we used house money to get the money. So we ended up running the initial trades up that we got in that morning up over 100%. So I think we paid like five something to get into those trades, and ran them up to over $1,000, and then used them to purchase what we really wanted for the Tesla delivery numbers. So that was a pretty good strategy. So we let the trade pay for the trade, and turned out pretty well. Nice profits on that. Again, shout out to the team. You can see all the snipers, the people on here. There's a few of them that are missing, but a few of the snipers are on here. They hit the ground running. So again, shout out to y'all. And let's just keep this energy, keep it going. I got some things to talk about this morning, and I got some pretty good charts too. I got some pretty good charts, and, so I think we're going to do pretty well. Now, I do want to give y'all some full disclosure on a few things. I said full disclosure, right? But I did swing NVIDIA calls and I swung MSTR calls. Like they were, the reason I swung the NVIDIA calls, and we'll get to the chart. We'll get to the chart in a second, but I just want to just put it out there. So even if they fall off a cliff tonight when the Asian futures open, you know what I mean? I'm just putting it out there. So yeah, but let's move on. All right. So yeah, so we just wanted to cover this again. We kind of covered this in last year. I mean at the last meeting of last year, but just again, these are the profit summary for 2024. So this is by month. If you want to take a deeper dive into our profits, whether you're whether you're a member of our community or not, you actually have access to our year of efficiency on it's under wins and losses on you have access to that in the community, whether you're a paid or a free member. You can look at every single month and you can see all of the trades. They're broken down into net profits. So again, you can see the wins and the losses, and this is how we cleared the month. Now again, the goal for this year, well, for 2024 was only 50K per single option. Again, this is if you just grab one contract for every single trade that I alerted in 2024. So if you grab one contract for every single alert that I provided in the chat, you generated over $62,000 in profits. And again, these are net profits. Now, so the goal was only for 50K for last year because the year before we hit 44K per single option. There are people in the chat who always buy more than one option. So whatever it is, if they bought two, it's double whatever that is, so it just goes up like that. But we cleared that. So I had a conversation with KK about what we should do for 2025, how we should do this. And we're going to talk about it a little bit more. I haven't really made that decision yet, haven't really come to that conclusion of what the goal is going to be for right now, but I'll have it by the end of the week for the team. And yeah, but we should have, I'm looking forward to having a big year, another big year. But again, 1 month at a time, 1 week at a time, one trade at a time. And just yeah, I just shout out to everybody who stayed the course, who's following the process. And look, just say that I'll say this, whether you are a new member, whether you've been here for a while or whatever, it doesn't matter. This is a new year. So everybody get a clean slate now. And remember, in order to be a good trader, you have to be a good person. You know what I'm saying? So whoever you are as a person, it'll bleed through your trading. But no preaching today. We're just going to go. But that's a very important thing. So if you don't have discipline as a person, you won't have it as a trader, So just be mindful of that. We had a great year last year. And let's just keep up the great work. Let's keep up the great work and the teamwork. I do want to give Kevin a shout out because I was reading the chat, when I got back before the close, and I see that it was a lot of MSTR in there, and it was because he shout out MSTR, so that's what put it on my radar before the close, and but that was too expensive of a trade for me to alert for the team for the following week. Now, I'll tell you, MSTR is one of those stocks like Netflix that, and how NVIDIA was before the split, how Tesla was before the split, the contracts are because of the IV, because of how much the stock moves or whatever. And the options premiums are inflated because they make volatile moves and big dynamic moves. So that's a good stock to play on a Thursday or Friday, Thursday or Friday when the contracts are reasonable, unless you have the type of capital where you can afford to do so. Like I said, I swung calls over the weekend, but they were pretty expensive, the strikes that I grabbed. But yeah, that's not something I would put the team in, like just as I wouldn't do that. But yeah, pretty solid moves. I see it was a lot of teamwork going on, and that's exactly what we need, man, to keep going. So again, shout out to you, shout out to the rest of the team, and again, let's just keep it going. All right, cool. So again, I was talking to KK, and I said, you know what, this week it's the first week of the year, and I just wanted to use a little bit of time, just like a few minutes, to just not really recap or anything like that, but to talk about what to do. Like if you come into this community, whether you're new or old or whatever, it's like what's the first thing you should do when you come into the community, right? So a lot of people, I think, I don't know if they struggle with it or whatever, but I'm like the first thing you should do when you come into the community is you should just I'm gonna probably just bring the screen up so you can actually see it because this is a pretty helpful thing. Again, we're not going to spend long on this at all. We got a lot to cover, and it's a pretty big week, and I'm looking forward to talking about the upcoming events. Just one sec. So again, I'm just working this out. So, all right. So you come into the community, right? I'm like, the first thing you do, I'll go to the welcome page, and kind of just like tell you about our server and stuff like that. And then, let you know what you have access to. And, that's just pretty much it. You can just, let's do that, right? But then you got this how-to guide. And, it's, if you've never traded before, then you want to just start from the beginning and just go through some things, right? Just obviously choose a trading platform that you're going to trade off of because you have to be able to trade in order. You have to, do that. That's the basic stuff. But then I would start with this, with the the learning materials because it kind of goes through a lot of basic stuff in here, like that will really be helpful. It gives you some chart setups, some stocks that you could watch, support and resistance basics, things about the Greeks, because people are always asking about Greeks and stuff. And then, we got information about the Greeks and things like that, in here that are really helpful, that the basic stuff. So, the lingo, because that there are people that don't even know the lingo. So they're, and that's important. You don't want to just jump into the trades, right? So just that's just some things that I think that everyone should do when they come in. It's just, I'm not going to go through all of these. Now, another thing, obviously you can look at the options trading checklist in here. So you just go in there and it'll tell you all of the things that you should be doing per trade. And that's just very important. KK laminated them. So she don't need it anymore because it's like clockwork for her. This is where the trades are alerted. Well, mainly this one now. I pretty much use this one now. And this is where the chart setups go. So now a reason I wanted to talk about this is because, right, so this year, now we kind of had a system last year, but then after the summertime, we kind of just like, things just kind of just derailed. I just want to kind of get back on track. So we got a Zoom schedule, right? People want, I know that regardless of whether you know how to trade or not, or um, whether you're a pro, whatever, when I'm on Zoom, it's like having Coach Prime there, so, and you're going to probably perform better if your coach is there. I'm going to call out some things. I'm going to be there. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to push you. So I know that. I mean, I get it. I get why it's beneficial to have me on Zoom, right? So, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to, so pretty much the Zoom schedule is Tuesday, Thursday, and, Friday is one of those days where pretty much, a lot of times I don't trade on Fridays because that's like that's the worst trading day for a lot of people, right? But anyhow, let's just get back on track. If I had to choose one, one of those days, that would be, this is the thing. Out of all of the trades that we've taken, every year I take less and less trades. So you can't force trades. You can't force trades. So let's just say I have a designated day where I say, you know what, I'm going to be on Zoom Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Friday. It's like going into a casino, right? And just saying, I'm not going to buy anything. I'm not going to gamble today, but you're just sitting in there waiting, to gamble. You're going to force a trade. You may force something to happen. So with me, if I don't have anything to say or I don't have a setup, if there's not a teaching moment where there's volatility where I can teach this price action or something, I'm not getting on Zoom that day. I'm not trading that day. I'm not getting on Zoom. Or we just got off a really big win. Let's just say we had a crazy win the day before. I'm like, okay, and tomorrow is $1,000 Thursday. I'm like, you know what? I'm not getting on Zoom. Or we cleared $1,000 Thursday like we always do. And I'm like, you know what? I'm off for Lotto Friday. So it's not some days I'm just not going to be on Zoom. But back to this. So there's a designated day where, you know what, we should just have a Zoom. And this is how we'll do it. We'll do it like this. Tuesday will be that day, right? So Tuesday, you can almost expect a Zoom every Tuesday. And so, but the way we'll do it is like this, because I don't like to get on Zoom if there isn't anything to discuss. So if there, I'll prepare some charts the day before, and we'll pick the best setups of those charts, and we'll discuss them on the Zoom that morning. And whichever one breaks out, we'll trade it live together. And that'll be, we'll do that. So there'll be something to do. We'll just stick to it and we'll do it. So there will always be something to do. If no setup breaks out, then we don't get a setup. We don't take a trade. But I feel like what that'll do, and this is what we were doing before, it'll make new traders or even existing traders more comfortable with the process and trading those breakouts and seeing what I'm looking for and how to wait for those retests, what to plan for, where the drawdown is and things like that. It'll be very, I think it's beneficial. A lot of people like those setups. And so we'll get back to doing that. So it's the beginning of the year. We're just going, let's work together and try to stay the course with each other. So, and I feel like we'll get more trading days out of that, because then there'll be something to do. So just wanted to give you a heads up of what the plan was heading into this year. So we can do what we did, but I want more people to be included in the process, as opposed to just missing the breakouts, and when the call outs hit the chat. It's a little different when you're on Zoom and we're there together, and I'm like, okay, get your trigger finger ready, as opposed to you just getting the alert, you know what I'm saying, and you don't know what's going on. So I think that'll be helpful. I mean, does anybody have any thoughts or comments on that before I move on?
How are you gonna know? Yeah, okay, you're preparing the charts. So what is it that people need to come and respond to those charts, and then you pick from there and say, okay, we've got the most responses for this one, and this is why we're picking this chart? Or are you just going to solely pick it based on your expertise? Either or is fine for me, but I do think like to get the engagement would be a little bit more beneficial.
I like that too, because I'm gonna tell you why that's a great idea. Thanks, KK. That's a great idea, because all right, so everybody know the charts. So the watch list plays that we'll be discussing on Zoom, will be in this channel right here, state, and everybody has access to this right here. So, and I'll put the setups in here. And depending on what it is, it could be anything, it could be whatever the setup is, right? And so like one of the last ones that we traded from here, I mean, we traded Tesla too, but I'm just gonna go to this Meta one. Meta lost the trigger for puts, and we I think we went up over 200 and something percent on those Meta puts on this trade. We traded this, but anyhow, and I was thinking Meta was gonna go the other way, but it didn't. So we traded the way that we traded what the market gave us, But anyhow, I like what you said, KK, because like, all right, so let's say I got 6 charts. Because sometimes it's like that, and the way my ADHD set up, sometimes it's hard for me to make a decision or stick to, you know what I mean, just to be like on one thing. So yeah, I'll do it like that, because if all of the setups are good, whichever ones get the most yeah, like, so if I post 3 of them, and like let's say the Tesla one get more than the Meta, we're gonna prioritize Tesla over the others, and then that'll kind of let me know, okay, there are some trades, some stocks where some people are more comfortable with, and others where they're like, you know what, I don't want to trade that. I don't feel comfortable trading that. Sometimes that's Meta for some people, or, it's a volatile stock. And so I'll prioritize it that way. I think that's a good idea. So yeah, so we'll start doing that again, as soon as possible. And yeah, and I plan on locking in with the team. But yeah, that was a great suggestion, KK. So we'll make sure we note that. But any other thoughts or comments on that? Cool. But like I was saying, anybody that want to kind of review the year of efficiency, they can go into this channel here. You can see a last one too for last year, and the year before. And yeah, but just it's a lot. It's a lot. And the webinar replays are in here. You'll have access to everything. But what I recommend everybody doing, just hit this server guide at the top, and it'll kind of walk you through some things too. So you'll be able to see, everybody should have access to the server guide. You can kind of go through some things, but I'm gonna revamp it. But anyhow, just wanted to hit that because again, this is the first meeting of the year, and we got a lot. We have a long way ahead of us. But like I said, one trade at a time. Let's just keep it moving, man. Let's keep it moving. That's what I'm looking for. So welcome to everybody, and let's move on. All right, so I got chart setups right here, but I'm gonna hit the chart setups first because I got the economic data, stuff like that, but I feel like I'm gonna hit the chart setups first, and then I'll go back into the economic data. Yeah, it's just let's get the economic data. All right, so we got Fed speakers on deck this week, man. We got Cook. They're sending her out there Monday at 9:30 a.m. I'm not sure what she has to say, but she's out there at market open tomorrow morning. We got Barkin on Tuesday at 8 a.m. Waller, got to watch out for Waller because Waller always has something. Waller is one of those Fed speakers that kind of like make comments that cause volatility in the market. That's at 8:30 a.m. We got the FOMC minutes from the last FOMC meeting. So just the minutes from the last meeting. Now, these meeting minutes can cause some volatility, and let me tell y'all why. Because remember, the last meeting was we got that wild card. They threw that wild card in there, and the dot plot showed that there were going to be less rate cuts in 2025 than we thought we were going to get, and the market fell off a cliff. So now we're going to get, because this is the thing, this is a meeting, a 2-day meeting. The FOMC meeting is 2 days long, and then after day 2 of the second meeting, the Fed comes out, goes right to the podium and give the Fed decision, and then they have the press conference after. And so, but we don't know everything that they discussed in the meeting until the minutes come out. So the reason why some of the Fed members said no to more rate cuts, we're going to get color we're going to get more gradients into that. So this is important. So it can cause a lot of volatility when it comes out. So Wednesday at 2 p.m., the minutes from the last FOMC meeting, we get those. So I think that's going to be a really volatile situation. We got Harker. Harker is another one you got to watch out for. Thursday at 9 a.m. Barking again here Thursday at 12:40 p.m. We got Schmidt. I really don't know much about Schmidt. 1:30 p.m. I got to put that on my agenda to do some research on Schmidt, see what state and they're known for. Yeah, so then we got Bowman Thursday at 1:35 p.m. Now, so as far as economic events, we got factory orders Monday. Now, I'm gonna also say this though, because on Tuesday, is it Tuesday? Is it Tuesday? 1 second, just be sure. Monday. So Monday afternoon, well, Monday around what date is it? We saw what time. I think it's 1 second. I'm just looking and checking something. Website. Yeah. So Monday we got and it's gonna be after the close. We got the NVIDIA keynote. I don't know. My mind was just losing me for a second. And so when Jensen come out there and speaks, I feel like the stock is moving ahead of that. So that's why that was one of the reasons that I swung NVIDIA calls, but it was more so the setup. And so a lot of these events sell the news events. So again, but for NVIDIA, not always the case. Not always the case. Now AMD, all of their events are sell the news events, but this is just like the keynote. It's a keynote. So the thing is,
I'm sorry, are you talking about the CES event that's going on Monday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
so
I
it's
think
then Jensen is speaking
NVIDIA
though.
and AMD are going to be speaking as well.
Yeah, so and I was trying to confirm because I thought he was speaking. I think it's Monday after it's Monday at 6. It's after the close. Either way, it's going to be after the close Monday. So the stock will probably run that day, and I feel like we gap up tomorrow. That's why I swung, and I think the IV will be higher on those contracts. We'll see the y'all see the chart in a second because the chart is undeniable. But yeah, so that's Monday also. But I just wanted to add that on here. Just it's not on here. We got ISM services on Tuesday. We got JOLTS data. Okay, so we got JOLTS data on Tuesday. We got the ADP non-farm payrolls on Wednesday. We got and again, that's not the big jobs report. That's Friday. We got jobless claims Wednesday. We got I just talked about the median minutes, but then Friday, we got the big jobs report. So remember, this is December's jobs report that we're getting in January. So the first jobs report of the year, but it's for December's data. This is an important report because remember what happened last time. And I told y'all, remember all of those revisions that they put in there. They went in, they revised September and October for November's report that we got last month, right? And so for this one, I'm not sure if they're going to do any more revisions to those to the report to kind of dictate the market in whatever direction they want it to go. So we'll just see. I just know it'll be a volatile situation. So looking forward to this the jobs data for this upcoming week. So we'll see what happens with that. But let me go over to these charts, man. Let's hit these charts. It's a lot to not a lot, but some. So I'll start with Apple since it's the chart that I have up right now. All right, so Apple finished inside on the day. Yeah, so Apple finished inside on the day and it's at a must hold area. Yeah, we got the 50-day EMA right under there, right? But I feel like it's where it is now is, I always say market structure over EMAs, right? And it's at a must hold area here. So let's see what Apple does. Again, it finished inside with a doji candle. So pretty much it opened at 243.36 Friday, literally closed at 243.36. That's a real doji, man. So it opened at the same price that it closed at on Friday. So yeah, finished right inside. So bulls and bears agreed on the price for Apple. So yeah, for this one again at a key area. So over 244.18. We can get calls over 244.18. Looking for a move to 246.56 and 249.10. Puts under 241.89 for a move to 240.94, 239.28, 237.90, and 234.77. So this is a nice setup on Apple, man. Keep Apple on watch. Again, we ate this whole Apple move down right here. Meta. Okay. So Meta, man. So all right, Meta finished almost like a doji too, man. It was like it opened at 604.76 and closed at 604.63. So like 11-cent difference from where it closed at on Friday. So Meta, I'm gonna say over 610.87. You can trade calls on this one because you don't want to get head faked on Meta. Meta is notorious for that. So I would say over 610.87, you can play calls on Meta for the first target 613.74 and then 620 and then 625.67 for the targets on Meta. We at the bottom of the uptrend here on Meta. I like how we reclaimed the 50 and then reclaimed the 9 and bounced off the 50, retested, bounced off it, and finished where we finished. I like Meta here. looks good. Now, for puts under 596.41 for a target of 594.97, 590.22, and 585.38 for Meta. Keep Meta on watch. I like it's still holding the uptrend. I like it. And this was a pretty big move last week too. So we had a pretty nice trade on Meta to keep that one on watch. I'm gonna go to this NVIDIA chart. Tell me that's not a beautiful breakout right here. Look how NVIDIA reclaimed it. Gapped up. It gapped up over the so we had a 222 reversal right here. So we got a 222, actually a 322 reversal, then a gap up. So I always call that was a two. So for that last candle, that was a 222 reversal there, gapped up over the 50-day moving average, and then I like the breakout here. So we got a candle confirmation with the breakout, and you see it sustained most of its gains for the day. It's got a small doji at the top. So for NVIDIA, we'll say calls over 144.90 for targets 145.70, 146.67, 148. Puts under 139.73, targets 138.31, 136.65, 134.72. I like NVIDIA here. And again, we got a catalyst too. So let's just see what happens. I think if it clears that 145.74 is out of here. Shopify still holding the earnings gap here. So it looks good. I like the gap up on Friday and reclaim the 9 EMA with the hammer. So for Shop, calls over 109.69 for a target 110.30 and then 112.09. You see other targets on the chart, but those are the targets. And puts under 107.54, targets 106.96, 104.60. Now I'm posting these in the chat, so if you missed the levels, I got them already lined up and ready to be posted. So I'm gonna post them in the watch list channel, so they're going there. Let me move on. I like the way QQQ closed on Friday. I like the way it closed. We got a nice reversal here, a nice 222 reversal, bounce off of the 50-day and the 50 moving average right there. It just cleared the 9 EMA and it's over the first support as well. So I like this. I like it. I like the little bounce here. It looks good. Now, if we get over 519.65, I'm looking for targets 521.48, 522.56, 526.10, puts under 512.53, targets 511.22, 510.10, 508.45, 505.71. Goldman Sachs, that's one of my favorites right here. The trade contracts move pretty decent amount. Finished inside on this one also. Nice inside candle on Goldman Sachs. And earnings season is coming up. So it's starting. And we got some earnings starting earliest this week. But yeah, so we got Goldman Sachs here on the move. The big banks typically kick it off, but there are no big banks are this week. They're next week. But yeah, we got Goldman Sachs. I like the way it looks here inside. Just the stock bounced off the 50-day moving average and the 9 EMA with the hammer right there, still finished inside. So I'm looking for calls over 582.14, targets 586.33, 590, 594.91. Puts under 571.73, targets 568.13, 566.43. I type Microsoft sometime. Every chart tells a story, man. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That's a beautiful breakout right there. Beautiful breakout. A 212 reversal, and it reclaimed the 9, the 50, and the 50-day. The 50-day EMA, 50-day moving average looks really nice with the breakout here of the wedge. So for this one, calls over 343.40, targets 356.84, 364.88, 380.80. Puts under 301.77, targets 595, I'm sorry, 295 and 275.58. So this look good. This is basically if Bitcoin has a nice day, a nice move, then MSTR will have a nice move as well. So it runs with Bitcoin. Look at that volume that came in there at the end of the day. And I just like that breakout. I like when we get a breakout. So a trend reversal with a breakout, with a candle confirmation. This looks good. So can get a big move. Now, again, like you got to think of where if you're going to place something like this, yeah, just be careful. I'll just say be careful. I say stocks like this are good to play Thursdays and Fridays, like when the contracts are reasonably priced. I mean, because otherwise you're going too deep out of the money if you're playing them. And I'm just saying for the average person, and the deeper out of the money you go, the less likely it is to finish in the money, and the theta decay on those contracts. The theta will eat those contracts alive. If it just moves like a little small retest, will kill your contracts because the delta is lower the further out of the money. So you don't want to really get any contacts with a delta that's under 30%, which means $30 for every $1 increase in the stock, as it goes or goes down or up or whatever. So you really don't want to get anything less than that because of the theta. And so so I feel like they'll be more reasonable later on in the week. Now, unless you buy something that's really expensive, and then those little drawbacks on those contracts, they kill you though. So you just got to be careful. It's almost like, playing coin or something like that. Another one of those volatile stocks that has a heavy load of Bitcoin on its balance sheet. But yeah, so that's folks. So let me hit Tesla. I didn't chart Tesla this week. This uptrend get back up there now. So we did get that reversal, that 222 reversal with the gap fill. So it filled the gap, and then so it's back up in this area here. So now what we need is and again, we in uncharted territory because Tesla is it was at all-time highs. It finished with a hammer on the week. Looks pretty good to me. Again, remember, it only dropped because of those delivery numbers. So one sec, just trying to do surgery on this daily candle for a second so y'all can see what's really going on, what it's trying to do here. So you can see the area that it's trying to reclaim. So look at this, and now go back to the daily chart. And we got the 50 there. I'm sorry, we got the 90 EMA right there. So what we'll do is this. If you want to trade Tesla, again, it's not that Tesla can't do it, but I'm just saying it's for puts, it's a long way down. So it's a different way you want to play this if you're going to trade puts on it. I'm going to give you two ways, but let's start with the calls. Over 411.88, we're looking for a move to 416.46 and then 419.73. And then obviously we got a gap fill area after that, which would be at the 431.66. I mean, if Tesla clears, let's just say 420. If Tesla clears and hold over 420, it's out of here. So, that's what we'll be looking for. But again, we got some targets ahead of that. To the put side, like I said, look how far down this stock. Now, not that Tesla can't do it because Tesla moves. It has a pretty dynamic stock. And the ATR for Tesla is like $25 a day. So it's not like it can't make a big move to the downside quickly. So like the puts under 379.45 for a move down to 364.45. That would be my first target for Tesla. Now I do have, there's another target there that you can hit before then. Definitely another target you can hit. That would be my main target. But the first target would be 369.49. And then you got the 364 target there. But yeah, but what I would do personally, I would see if Tesla goes up and reject this 9 EMA. It plays Tesla. There's a lot of action around the 9 EMA. So Tesla lost it on last Friday, not this Friday that just passed, but the one before then. And it's been going up and rejecting it every time. So now we're at it again. Now, this is a pretty strong candle, and it's promising. That's why I use the 9 EMA as the first target, because it could price could get rejected there. If it starts to get over there, then more flow will start to come in. If we see more flow starting to come in, then you could trade it accordingly. But yeah, I like Tesla here. Like I said, look at the weekly. Bears drag price all the way down there. Bulls resiliently brought it back up here. That's bullish, even though the candle finished red. So again, keep this on watch again. But like I said, there are a few ways that if it rejects here, you can play off the reject. But you would obviously look for a setup on a lower time frame, like the session hourly. And so what I like to do a lot, and we'll talk about this more on Zoom on Tuesday. But I use multiple time frames while I'm trading, just so while I'm looking for setups, and I'm referencing the higher time frames. So depending on how long I'm trying to hold the trade, and what the plan is, what the setup is, and what got to have a setup before you take the trade. But yeah, I like Tesla here. I think it was a pretty solid move after the close, and it looked like it wants to make some moves. So again, keep Tesla on watch. So we just hit SPY. Got hit IWM. So look, IWM still got this bearish flag here on the daily, but look, so IWM, for those who don't know, you know how you got SPY as an ETF that tracks the S&P 500 that contains the top 500 stocks on the New York Stock Exchange. You got the QQQs that track the NASDAQ, which contains the technology stocks and a lot of the banks. And now you got IWM. It tracks the Russell 2000, which contains the small cap stocks. And then you got DIA that can track that has the Dow Jones, that has the top 30 stocks on the stock market. So this is a pretty good one right now. I'm gonna tell y'all why. Because remember, if we do have if the market is bullish this year, the small caps and financials, they had the most drawdown last year. And even before then, even going into 2024. So it's a lot. They have a lot of room to move. It's because think about it. If you own Nvidia or Meta or Tesla or one of those stocks, and you have a hedge fund, or you just have a portfolio manager, they never add more money to their portfolio. They're not adding more money. They're using the money from these stocks. Like they're like, Microsoft is a little too heavy. Let me cut some of this. Let me sell some of Microsoft and buy something that has more room to go. So the small caps has much more room to go. And so look at this. So we got this bearish flag here on the daily, but look what just happened. We just reclaimed the 9 EMA here. Now, keep in mind, look how long it's been under the 9 EMA. So I'm going to show y'all. Look, every chart tells a story. So look, the last time it was above the 9 EMA was on December the 4th. Ever since then, it's been fighting, and it hasn't been able to reclaim it. It's just been getting rejection after rejection. And then Friday it came through and closed over the 9 EMA. So now we got some action here for IWM. And those contracts, they're priced pretty nicely, and they move. The stock the ETF moves a great deal. I like it. I like trading it, and I think it's pretty cool to make some money off of. So like what you want to do, just trade what the market gives you, right? So we broke out of this bearish flag, not saying that we can't make a move back down, but I'm gonna say cause over 224.82 for a move to 226.25, and then 227.83, and then so on up to 230, and then 231.74, and so on, right? Puts under 221.38 for a move back down to, what I say, 221.38 for a move back down here. So I would say the first target would be 220 and then 218.77. And then we got the 200-day. I mean, we got other targets because I would say the low, the 52-week low would be the 217.63 first, and then we got the 200-day. But it looked like we got a reversal in our hands here. So I say keep this one on watch. It's a good one. Oh yeah, we got a bullish engulfing on the weekly. See, just look at this though. Just look at the trend. Look at the trend. And that's a pretty solid week here. So we got a bullish engulfing on the weekly. So we need to keep IWM on watch. Now, like I said, a lot of these stocks here, look at this uptrend here. I'm gonna just show y'all this trend. Love a nice trend on the chart, man. So we got a nice trend on here. And the stock, you know, the ETF has been it's been pretty consistent with this its movement. So this is one, like I said, when I highlight these charts, man, some charts you got to keep them on watch and watch out. So this is one of those ones. Again, IWM contracts, they are priced fairly cheap, you know, because it doesn't move as much. But think about how far it has to go and what you can get out of this if it follows the trend, you know. So yeah, so again, keep this one on watch. And yeah, IWM. Let me just go ahead and grab this one because this is the good. So yeah, man. But again, that's all I have this week. And again, I'm looking forward to this upcoming week, man. Again, Happy New Year to everyone else and to everyone. And let's make this week a great week. I'll see y'all in the chat. Cheers. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks.
Thank
Have
you.
a good weekend.
Thank you.
Antoine, let's go.
Happy New Year.
So